So, the Shrek 5 teaser trailer came out a couple days ago, and it's quite something. You can put it that way. Not even 5 seconds into the trailer, and I've got some problems. Yeah, right here. I will say though, before I get into bashing it, the art style here is pretty nice. It's actually similar to the original book's art style, the 1990s book by William Steig. Actually, this art on the second page shown in the trailer is like almost directly from the original book art itself. It's just like tweaked a little bit. And that, I'll say, that's kind of cute. That's a nice little homage to the original book in the 90s. I'm not going to have a lot else to say positively after this part, so take what you will. I'm pretty sure that this segment is just for the teaser trailer. I hope that the movie doesn't start with this opening book sequence, and if it does, it better be something different. But if it is used for the movie, then they've just completely disregarded the original intent behind the storybook opening in the first movie. I mean, not like they respect the first movie. But that opening is supposed to be a brilliant introduction to what the Shrek franchise is supposed to be. Shrek is a parody that seeks to subvert the expectations of what the fairy tale genre is, and to start out this movie with a fairy tale sequence that they literally wipe their ass with, it perfectly explains what Shrek is all about and what this movie is going to be doing. And it does this all the while still being an exposition for Fiona's character, and it still sets up the story's plot. This doesn't. Well, kind of. It does give a little bit of exposition, which is, again, why I'm pretty sure this is just for the teaser trailer, because all it gives for now is how Shrek and Donkey will be going on an adventure to the city of Further and Further Away. Which, I mean, the name is fine, I guess. I mean, it's obviously a playoff of The Kingdom of Far, Far Away, which is then a parody of, like, the far, far away kind of trope in, like, fairy tales, and Star Wars, my favorite space fairy tale. But yeah, story-wise, it doesn't give too much else. It is just a teaser. However, it does give a new depiction of the storybook kind of opening, with a more mean-spirited approach to its storytelling, which just hasn't been used in the previous examples of like Shrek 1, Shrek 2, and Forever After. And what I mean by this is that the book sequence here is more so an excuse to kind of make a little bit of fun at the characters, you know, the hideous ogre, as he's been referred to sometimes, and along with delusional donkey, which I think that's new. And this isn't necessarily bad. It doesn't need to be like the first and second films' openings, where it's a more nuanced satire on the fairy tale genre through the visuals and not the words on the page. I do still bring up Shrek 1 and 2's interpretations of the book intro for a reason, however, for something that I'll get into much later, as it just doesn't really set up the rest of the teaser or the movie very well, in my opinion. This is the very first thing that they want you to see when it comes to this movie, and it just gets so much so wrong about what the storytelling, like, book opening is supposed to be. It just didn't really feel right to me. And I guess it doesn't have to. It's only a teaser, I guess. I just hope that the opening is much better than this and it has more thought put into it. Now the rest of the teaser, this is getting difficult. I do not like this art style. I mean, I know that this isn't anything new that we're seeing. We were shown this in the cast announcement video from a year ago, but this really does solidify that this is what they're gonna do with the movie. The style isn't bad. It does look nice, but I feel like that's kind of the problem. Shrek isn't supposed to be this rounded or this visually appealing. He's supposed to be crude, damn it. And DreamWorks, you know a thing or two about crudes. Come on, you could do better than this. I don't know, it might grow on me, but it's been a year and it still hasn't. Yeah, whatever, it'll be fine. As long as the next thing I see within this art style isn't completely obscene, I think I'll be okay with it.
Oh, I'm caked up like a friggin' bakery! Not my gumdrop, but...
This is the scene that got me to make this video. It just stands out in not the best way. Now, I know I just got done talking about crude humor. I guess I got what I wished for. But the delivery of this just kind of falls flat across the board. It's clear that they chose this scene in particular to easily explain that this isn't just a kid's animated film. Look, we've got crude humor and we've said hell a couple times. Whoa. But with this instance being more in your face, it just ends up feeling cringy. Previous instances of crude humor within this nature that I can recall would be like maybe Shrek going down the staircase and damaging a couple valuables, and a couple scenes with Lord Farquaad. Or maybe he gets a little too excited at the sight of Fiona. But those are more subtle, I'd say. They're not really in your face. They're not shaking Gingy ass. I don't know. I think the intent behind this joke fits within Shrek's comedy, but the delivery just doesn't really work the way that they wanted it to. That's fine. That just means that the joke isn't for me. But I also don't really see what the intended audience is for this joke. I mean, it's not for the kids. They've already established this. But the people I've seen online reacting to this are fellow Shrek adults. Oh, that's a lame sentence. The first people to react to this are the ones who are most excited for the Shrek movies, or at least more invested within them. And again, I don't really see many positive reactions to this online, so I don't really think this joke lands within the intended audience. I will say though, at least the usage of the word caked from a cookie character from Gingy, that's at least creative. I'll give them that. That is Shrek's humor. I just don't think the rest of the joke is. Now, I'd say a much better instance of crude humor within this teaser would be the next joke that they set up, where they're going through the city, it's a shithole, and Shrek and his family pass by this snowman that asks them,
"Wanna date a snowman?"
which that is a clear mockery of Olaf, and that is exactly within Shrek's humor. I didn't personally giggle at this, to be honest, but I can at least acknowledge this is the right blend of pop culture and fairy tale satire that is right at home within Shrek's humor. So this at least gives me a little bit more hope for the film's humor, I guess. Anyways, the teaser sets up how they're apparently chased after the police, and now it cuts to a scene where Shrek, Donkey, Fiona, and Shrek's kids, Fergus and Farkle, are now all in jail. I'm not quite sure where else to fit this in, but I do want to quickly say I do like how the police car's siren is like these two little fairies in it. That's very Shrek. I do like that little detail. And now Donkey is expressing himself through song like he is known to do, just like he is known to do. Again, I'm hoping that the actual movie, portrays this in a different way, but this is the exact same joke from the first movie. Like, why tell the exact same setup again? Donkey starts to get into a song that he's singing in his sorrows, and then when he starts to belt out the chorus, he's like, "Donkey, stop singing!" This was a funny joke 25 years ago. And that's just kind of the whole problem with the teaser for me. It has the same mentality. I don't feel like it's trying to sell me Shrek 5. It's trying to sell me my memories of Shrek 1. You've got the opening storybook, because it's a Shrek movie, it's gotta have that, but it doesn't really understand the first movie's reason for including that storybook opening, so it kind of feels like it's just marking something off of a checklist. They get chased down by the police and get slammed into jail. It's odd how that's a plot point in 2 of these movies. There's only 5 of them. Donkey's belting out into song, Shrek's getting annoyed at him, Smash Mouth is playing because they have to. And I've skipped over this, but twice throughout this teaser, Donkey repeats this line from the first film, Shrek and Donkey, 2 stalwart friends on a whirlwind big city adventure. Twice in this 1.5-minute long trailer, they feel the need to bring this up. This isn't even about the movie. And we know that's not what this movie is about because they're shown in the jail, and the only one not present within that jail cell is Felicia, the third ogre child, the one that's voiced by Zendaya. And with Zendaya all over the marketing, we already knew that she was going to have a very big presence within the film. So there's obviously going to be a subplot where Felicia is going to attempt to break her family out of prison or have some sort of importance relating to that fact. And again, I get that this is just the teaser, not even a full-blown trailer, not the full-blown movie yet, but this just doesn't really spell out anything positive for me. Shouldn't the point of a teaser trailer to kind of show what the movie is about a little bit to get you hooked? Show the differences instead of the similarities to a previous film within the same series? Isn't the point of the teaser to try to sell me on why I want to see this movie? Because if it is, at least for me, it's not doing its part. And I am a big Shrek fan. I grew up with these movies. Literally, I had a Shrek birthday cake when I was an infant. I have literally grown up with these movies. First and the second ones are absolute masterpieces. The third one, not so much. It kind of fell off after there, but the first and second one are great. And this teaser knows that, and it knows that all it really has to be able to sell this movie is association with the first 2, so it's doing its best to try to make you really remember those first 2. I don't know, so I guess as a teaser, it's doing its job. It's just a marketing piece, it's an advertisement, it's just please watch the movie, it's selling it, I get that. But I was just really hoping that the first look at this movie that we got, aside from the cast announcement, was something better, maybe something that was actually Shrek. At least comparing it to the first and second Shrek movies, which is what I feel like the teaser wants me to compare this to. But when you do, it just doesn't really hold up. From what they've showed off, the humor is almost there, and the story isn't that interesting. I don't know, this whole teaser, it just screams a lack of confidence in this movie for me. And that's not really a good sign. I feel like a lot of people have kind of already come to the conclusion that this isn't going to be that great of a movie, especially from the cast announcement last year. That was a miss. But this teaser, it really isn't helping. What do I know? I'm not really any professional or anything. This is actually my very first review of any sorts, so you can comment down below if I'm missing something, because I'm pretty sure I am. There's a good possibility. So anyways, I think that's all I've got to say, so thank you all for listening in, and I'll talk to you soon. The haircuts. I forgot the haircuts.